Welcome and good morning, everyone. I'm Katie Cartman, the Director of Religious Education here at Emerson Unitarian Universalist Church in Houston, Texas. Our beloved community of faith, reason, and affection welcomes all to grow in mind and spirit as together we build a better world. If you are joining us for the first time this morning, we extend a special welcome to you and invite you to fill out our visitor card so you can receive more information about Emerson and our activities. Again, welcome to all. We are a church in many places, some of us here in the pews and some joining us on YouTube from home or wherever we might be. Maybe watching now or this afternoon or Tuesday or Wednesday, you never know. But let's go ahead and give a wave and think some nice thoughts about our extended community. And our world is a different one than it was in early 2020. Our worship service has changed accordingly. We're giving people choices in the pews as to distancing and whether or not they'd like to continue masking. We've put a few offering baskets at the front and the back of the sanctuary for people to drop off their offering throughout the service, rather than passing the plates. Oh, please make sure to silence your cell phone. If you want to take pictures of something cool or tweet out a message, feel free, just make it so that we don't get interrupted by that noise. And yes, I just turned off Take Me Out to the Ball Game on my phone, so hopefully it won't be me. Following the worship service, folks in the pews may head out to the courtyard and the playground, and we'll have social time out in the gathering place with our amazing committee fair, and then a potluck out in Westwood Hall and some water fun for anyone who wants it out in the splash zone under the trees. We also have social time on Zoom, hosted by board trustee Marilyn Rambo. A chance for us to gather in smaller groups to discuss the service and what's going on in our lives. And now for our prelude.
All my relations come, every nation come, all my relations under the sun, we are one. We are praying, come. We are praying, come. We are the song and we are the drum. We are one. We are the river, come. We are the river, come. We are the boat, the paddle, shore, we are one. Many wachoni sing to Koyas. Many wachoni sing to Koyas. Many wachoni water is life for everything. Koyas. We are the water, sing to Koyas. We are the water, sing. We are the water, we are where all life begins. We are the ancient ones. We are the ancient ones. In your breath and bones we sing on. We are one. We are the meadow. We are the meadow, come. We are the lark that sings, the new day has begun. We are the new day, run, run, run. We are the new day, run, run, run. We are the old and we are the young. We are one. Many wachoni sing to Koyas. Many wachoni sing to Koyas. Many wachoni water is life for everything. are the waters, sing to clear, oh yes. We are the waters, sing to clear, oh yes. We are the water, we are where all life begins, oh yes. Sing. We are the earth and sky. We are the thunder cries. We are the fire. We are the light in your eyes. We are standing strong, like a rock, like a stone, on the sacred ground we belong. We are home. All my relations come, every nation come, all my relations under the sun. We are one.
Good morning. I am the Reverend Michelle LaGrave, the interim minister of this congregation, and I am so excited to be here this morning and welcome each and every one of you in person and online to our homecoming service. This is the day when we ritually mark the official opening of the new church year, when we, like the waters from many, many sources, flow together into the oceans, so too do we return from our summers near and far and gather together once again. Whoever you are, wherever you come from, wherever you find yourself on your life's journey, whichever your pronouns, whether you've walked in or rolled in or dialed in, whether you've traveled far from home or stayed at home this summer, whether you are gathering with us for the first time today or have called this community home for many years, whoever you are, whomever you love, you are welcome here.
Our opening words are "Come into this place" by Margaret Weiss. Come into this place with your whole self, the parts that are raw and exposed, the part that is beaming with joy, the part that is seeking the truth, the new, the possible. Come into this place, open your heart, lay down your burden, lift up your hope for something new to happen. Come into this place with fellow travelers on the journey, some faces new and others familiar, and all welcoming you here, now, to this moment. Come, let us worship together.
Our chalice lighting this morning comes from Catherine Esty. Little flame, light the tender kindling of our souls, and soon a roaring blaze shall be of warmth and love and community. From this little spark, may a fire of passion spread from heart to heart and light our way, sweet Spirit, and light our way. Now let us rise together either in body or spirit and join in singing our opening hymn, which is number 360 in the gray hymnal. Here we have gathered.
Serve the
today is a big day. It is Homecoming Sunday. And in 4 hours, it's kickoff! My beloved Green Bay Packers will kick off their, 100-something season. I'm very much looking forward to it. Something you should know about me, other than the fact that I am a die-hard Packers fan, is that I am in a cross-cultural family. I was raised in the Midwest, my husband on the East Coast. I was raised Catholic, he was raised Jewish. Lots of things. I went to U of H, University of Houston. I have a nice normal-sized diploma. He went to Rice and has one that takes up half the hallway. The first major test of our marriage came January 26th, 1997. Super Bowl 31. My Packers, his Patriots. To be fair, he only kind of sort of pays attention to football, so I won that one in all of the ways. I may have rubbed it in some. The good news is, somehow our marriage endured that, and we went on to raise 2 children who took us even a lot further along this cross-cultural family thing by becoming Aggies. That took some getting used to. Texas A&M, it has a whole lot of culture. A whole lot of culture that's very different from what I was used to. The time that I got on an elevator and it said howdy to me, being told that I was now a Aggie mama, I ran away from the lady with the clipboard. Seriously, ran away. Anyway, they do have some traditions that are deeply meaningful, and I want to hold up one of them today. And it's called the 12th man. This tradition is actually 100 years old. See, the Aggies were at one of the big bowl games, and there had been so many injuries going on that coach was worried that they would not have 11 players to take the field. If they had one more injury, they were going to be in trouble. Well, he saw a young man who was working one of the stands. His name was E. King Gill. Gill had started out with football, but then decided to become a basketball player. So this sophomore who hasn't been on football for a while, coach calls him over and says, hey, take that injured guy's uniform, put it on, just in case we need you. Got into somebody else's uniform, sweaty as that probably was, and stood on the sidelines for the rest of the game. He was never called upon to play, but he was ready. He was ready. And thus the tradition of the 12th man was born. If you go up to Kyle Field today, or, well, we won't talk about yesterday, there is actually a statue of him as a reminder of that idea that to be an Aggie is to be at the ready to support your team. They do not expect these days random juniors, sophomores, anybody to get on the field and take a tackle. But they want the support. The night before games, they have what they call midnight yell practice, where everybody gets in there and just starts hollering and whipping their towels, and it's a whole big thing. And yes, they did it through more of COVID than I was comfortable with, but my children are introverts, so that's okay. Other teams, collegial and professional, have taken this on. Most famously, perhaps, is the Seattle Seahawks. To get out of paying the licensing fee to Texas A&M, yes, this is for real, they are no longer the 12th man, they are the 12s. But they routinely hit crowd noise levels of over 100 decibels. They've made so much noise and movement in the stands that they register on Richter scales. Seriously. Why? Because they are there to support their team, to be loud, to be enthusiastic, to get it going on. And yeah, if it confuses the other team, all the better. So why am I telling you this? Am I trying to make you an Aggie or a Packers fan? Well, I try not to lead people to make decisions, but, no. Another place that can be this kind of community is our church. And indeed, what are we here for if not to support one another? Sometimes that's as simple as getting on your Facebook and all the other social medias and saying, hooray, when somebody says about something going on. And yes, getting out your metaphysical or physical or spiritual, whatever, pom-pom, swinging it, letting your peeps know that you see and you support, and yes, you want them to succeed. Sometimes that's lending a helping hand, bringing a casserole. Sometimes it's just, this is going to sound really wild and crazy, y'all. Sometimes it's reading your e-blast. I had jury service this week, and when you go down to the gathering room, they give you the same information 4 ways, and in church life, they say to do it 7 ways. Yeah, I kind of had a little PTSD sitting in that room, seeing the same message here, 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 here. And we all knew what was going on. So, how are you a superfan to another Emersonian, Emersonians, and to Emerson? What do you want to cheer for? What do you wholeheartedly support? And when are you going to go sign up for in that gathering place? And then eat a hot dog.
Giving out of what is our own is a transformative act. As a community of faith, we collect an offering not for ourselves or our congregation, but to give to others as a collective action of our community and as a way to live out our shared values. Please give with a generous heart to support our September Share the Plate recipient, the Women's Home. The Women's Home provides housing assistance, residential treatment, and collaborative community services to prepare women and their families to become empowered and productive forces in their communities. And the remaining 25% of our offering goes to our ongoing commitment to Interfaith Ministries Meals on Wheels, feeding Houston seniors. We have 3 ways to give. You can go to our webpage for online giving, or you can put your offering in our baskets or mail a check to the church.
As we celebrate homecoming today, I would like to invite you to open yourself in today's meditation to feeling the experience of welcoming and home when you are here at church. This may be in some ways an aspirational meditation, but by participating in it, we can help make it a reality. Please start by finding a comfortable position that feels grounded and connected to the earth which nourishes and sustains us all. Close your eyes if you feel comfortable doing so, and take a deep breath in. As together we enter into a time of meditation followed by silence. Feel now what it feels like to know that this is and can be another home for you. Perhaps even in some ways, for some of us, a more loving and more affirming home than we have known before. Feel now what it feels like to know that this is a place where you are welcomed for who you are, for all your uniqueness and all your imperfections, welcomed in good faith. Feel now what it feels like to know that around you are good people with good intentions, and so you can feel at ease. Feel what it feels like to know that here you are valued and what you have to say is important. Feel what it feels like to know that you matter and that your presence is wanted just because you are who you are. Feel what it feels like to be welcome and at home and at ease. Amen and blessed be.
I would like to invite the search committee to come up and join me on the chancel. She said the healthy ones. So yes, these are some of the search committee members who were elected last spring and have been already busily preparing for this congregation's search for its next called and settled minister. If their faces are not already familiar to you, they soon will be. You'll be seeing a lot of them over the coming months. They are Ken McLeod, Beth Hammer, Deborah Wotring, Chris Taylor, and Judy Taylor. Judy Williams. Get the Taylors mixed up. The other Taylor, Zena, and Bill Hammonds are not with us today as we live in a time of COVID and COVID exposures and all that fun stuff. So they wanted to be here, but were not able to be. So a little later in this service, I'll be speaking about some of the many responsibilities that come with being a member or maybe a friend of a Unitarian Universalist congregation. No matter your age or your youth, no matter how recently you've arrived here or how long you've been attending, there are gifts that you give to your spiritual community. Support, like the 12th man or woman or non-binary person. Your presence, your skills, your care, your talents, your labor. So many gifts in so many ways. But first, before we get to all of what you are doing, I want to lift up exactly what kind of responsibility this small group of people, your search committee, have voluntarily taken on. Exactly how big of a gift these people have chosen to give and continue to give to their congregation. Well, scratch that. I probably can't describe their gift in this short a time with any kind of exactitude. It would take the entire rest of the service. So let's just say they have already been on a retreat together. They meet every single week, not just once a month. And they do lots of work in between those meetings. And later in the search cycle, they will spend entire weekends together. So this past spring, shortly after the ministerial search committee was formed, this congregation charged them with the weighty and joyful task of searching for your ministerial candidate. And you expressed your trust in them, your faith in them to search with great care and integrity. Now, with the beginning of the church year and preparations for search well underway, I would like to present to them all of you with a gift. So we give to you the gift of this chalice and invite you to light it whenever you come together to meet as a search committee, whenever you interview a ministerial applicant, whenever you meet with your pre-candidates, and whenever you gather together to choose your final candidate. The path you are on is long, and your task is weighty. Please accept this gift as a symbol of trust placed in you by the members of this congregation, its friends, and its staff. May it light your way on this joyful path.
Would everyone please join us in this responsive reading as together we affirm and recommit to the presence of love among us and all who would join with us. The responses are printed in italics on the slides above. This is the home that love made. It is full of the love that the founders and those who followed felt when they planned out these walls and raised these beams above us.
This is a house that love made. It is full of the love of all who have worshiped here, those who have celebrated and grieved here, those who have been babies who were dedicated here, couples married, and family members mourned here.
This is the community that love made. It is full of the love of our children as they learn and laugh together, and our youth as they grow into their own sense of purpose and meaning.
This is the congregation that love made.
It is full of the love of the staff who have served it, full of their hopes for this congregation, their hard work, and their acts of dedication.
This is the sanctuary that love made.
It is full of the love of the choir and the musicians, the love made so clear in the voices and instruments lifted here on Sunday morning.
This is the spirit that love made.
It is full of our love, the love of this community, despite our differences and our disagreements, the love that holds us together as a people.
Love made.
Can you feel it? May this love be with us always. Amen.
Done. Stay. This morning, I am going to invite you to participate in the message. I'm going to ask you to shout out your amens and hallelujahs and preach it. I keep hearing rumors that this is going to happen, so I'm giving an explicit invitation for today. So, wave your pom-poms, shout out your responses to my questions, and if I can hear them, I'll repeat them into the microphone for everybody who's online and can't hear them as well. Wave your hands, clap, get up and dance. This is your time. Yep, I know. It's different. It's new. It's a change. But we are in an interim period. Yes. So it is time to move out of our frozen, chosen culture. Let's leave it behind. At least let's try it. So my first question is, what is the purpose of this community, of this congregation? Does anyone remember? We say it every single week at the beginning of the service. Our beloved community of faith, reason, and affection welcomes all to grow in mind and spirit as together we build a better world. This is what we're all about. This is what Emerson is all about. And in the bigger world, this is what Unitarian Universalism is all about. Yes. So let's explore this statement a little bit. First of all, who belongs to the beloved community? Who do you think? Everyone? Are you sure? How old do you have to be? 0. So are kids welcome here? Are babies welcome here? Do they sometimes make noise? Yes, and that's okay. How about the adults? Are we going to let them come to worship? Sure. Yeah. Yeah, hallelujah. How about the elders? Yes. Yay! Yay for everybody. By the way, Katie loves to tell me this story about how they did this noise audit in some UU congregation, and they found out that the decibel level from the elders was much louder than the decibel level from the kids. So we're just going to celebrate everyone with this holy hubbub. All righty. Now, we covered the age thing. Everybody, no matter how old you are, is welcome here. How long do you have to have been here to belong? 0 days. You have to show up. Yes. You walk, stroll, run, hop, skip, roll through the doors, and that is all. You are here and you belong, and we are so glad to see you and welcome you to our community. And log in. That's right. Yes, log in and you belong here too. Of course you belong here too. One of the things the staff loves to do is see how many people viewed the service on Sunday on YouTube, and then you can follow it through the week and see how many more people watch, like on Monday or on Tuesday or on Wednesday, and the numbers keep coming up. So it's not just here and online right now, it's all week. It's even months from now, sometimes the numbers will go up. Not that it's about numbers, but it's just fun to know, because that's the way that we know that you are out there, that YouTube counts you for us. So, everyone, do we stay here? Is it all about what happens inside these walls, in this community? Is it all about Emerson? I'm hearing a lot of no's. How about Unitarian Universalism? Is it all about the UU world? No. We're building a better world everywhere. We are going to start here, because this is where we plant the seeds of how to do beloved community, to do it right, to do it well, and then we're going to go outside our doors. We already do. We're going to continue going outside our doors, and the more we learn about how to do beloved community and do it right and do it well, the more we will expand it out into the world and change the world and create a better world. Yay! I love the pom-poms. I think we should have pom-poms every week. That's fun. All right. So now, on this Homecoming Sunday, I want to explore a little bit about what it means to be here, specifically to belong here at Emerson UU Church. There are technical requirements for membership. Some of them are legal requirements. Yes, that's true, in order to vote. And that is open to all of a certain age or above. But I want to talk about what it means to belong. Belonging is bigger than the legal term, right? I mean, the babies can't vote yet, but they belong here. So what does it mean? What does it mean to be here? To belong? What are those requirements? How do we know what they are? There's ethical, moral, spiritual, and legal requirements of belonging to Emerson UU Church. And I know requirements isn't really a fun word. It's kind of a heavy idea. So instead, let's think about them as gifts. As members of this beloved community in the making, this beloved community in process, there are gifts that we give to our community, that we give to each other. So, let's shout out some ideas. What kind of gifts do you think either you or you have witnessed other people giving to this community do? Music, support, time, service, listening. What? So fun in houses? Oh, flooded houses. Yes, cleaning out flooded houses, which you all know all about way too well. But I hear stories still. I mean, now it's 4 or 5 years ago, and I still hear you talking about it and how much that meant. You were there for each other in one of the worst times many of you have faced. Making meals to people who can't leave their homes. We give monetary gifts. That'll be coming up very soon with our auction, which is going to be tons of fun, and our stewardship drive. Anything else you want to share? Teaching and religious education, either for the kids or for the adults. We have the adults before the service, and we have the kids usually during the service, although we'll be doing more multi-generational services like this one in this year, in the future. Yes. English classes for people who do not know how to speak or read or write English. Yes, many of them new to this community, many of them new to this country, but not all. So, those are all great ideas. Our labor, our work, our skills, our talents, our money, our participation, which sometimes is as simple as showing up to worship or showing up to religious education or showing up to choir practice. But today I want to talk about something specific. And yes, we have our fair. I want to mention that too before I move on to the specific thing. Emerson in Action is going on today. I know many of you have already been to some of the booths. You have your mums. You're collecting your ribbons if you're here in person with us today, learning about the different ways in which you can join in and continue to further your sense of belonging to this community. And there will be more time with the booths after the service. And I hear rumors about prizes, maybe? Yes, I'm seeing nods. There's going to be prizes. Yay. All right. So the specific thing I want to talk about is the search process for your next minister. Yeah, this is exciting stuff. It's a long, drawn-out process, I know it is. But we can have fun while we're doing it, and we can enjoy each other while we're doing it, and then I'll feel really great when I leave that you found the next right minister for you. And you will all have great feelings as well, because you'll have your next minister. At least that's the goal, right? That's what we're aiming for. So, some of the things that we have to do, one of the special things, the key things you have to do is to figure out what kind of next minister is the right one for you. What gifts would you hope that your minister would bring to your beloved community? Because the staff and the minister bring their gifts too, right? It's not just the members and the visitors and the friends. Everyone does. Even Bella, my service dog, brings gifts when she is here. She's my pastoral care assistant in addition to the LPMT. So, I know, we're trying to get rid of that idea of perfection, right? It's one of those poisons in the white culture supremacy stuff that we've been talking about. But I want to point out exactly how problematic it can be through some humor. So, there's many, many versions of this saying, poem, ditty, whatever you want to call it, about the perfect minister that floats all around the internet. And some of you may have heard it before, and it may not be exactly this one, but probably similar. So here we go. The perfect minister preaches exactly 12 minutes. He frequently condemns sin, but never upsets anyone. She works from 8 a.m. until midnight and is also a janitor. They make $60 a week, wear fine clothes, buy lots of good books, drive a good car, and give about $80 a week to the poor. I see some of you were able to do that math. She is 36 years of age, but she's been preaching for 40 years. He is tall on the short side, heavy set in a thin sort of way, and handsome. She has eyes of blue or brown to fit the occasion, and wears her hair parted in the middle. Left side dark and straight, right side brown and wavy. He smiles all the time while keeping a straight face because he has a keen sense of humor that finds him seriously dedicated. They give themselves completely, but never get too close to anyone to avoid criticism. She speaks boldly on social issues, but never becomes politically involved. He has a burning desire to spend all his time with the youth, but he spends all his time with the senior citizens. They make 15 daily calls to church members, visit people who are shut in at home and the hospitalized. They spend all their time evangelizing non-members, and they're always in their study when needed. Unfortunately, she burnt herself out and is no longer serving in ministry. That part's a little funny, but also way, way, way too true after the pandemic. We're having a bit of a moment in Unitarian Universalism ministry, but we're getting you ready, and it's going to be good. So, in case you are wondering, by the way, whether these expectations are actually based in reality, we have some true stories to share. Tom S. Rayner, in a Twitter poll of things actually said to ministers, compiled a list of what he thought to be the top 20. I'm not going to read all 20. My favorite one is, I need you to go catch a peacock that escaped. Of course, he replied, that's item 6C in the job description. So as you may have guessed by now, there is no perfect minister, myself included. I mess up all the time. We all do, because we're human. So what ministerial skills and talents, what gifts would help you to continue to build beloved community? You, this church, Emerson specifically. And then beginning here and then expanding out into the world. Who is the next right minister for Emerson? Notice I didn't say best minister. It's not about degrees and qualifications. It's about the right match. So who is the next right minister for Emerson? In order to discern this, in order to find this out, we need you. You, the 12th man, woman, human being, child, to participate. We have some very busy events coming up this fall that are all related to being a congregation in an interim transitional time and doing the work of transformation. Next Sunday, the 18th at 4 p.m. on Zoom, there will be a transition team event. This is meant to look at the past ministry of this congregation with an eye to thinking about what kind of patterns there may have been in ministry. Thoughtfully and intentionally discern what patterns you want to keep and bring forward in your next minister, and which ones may have served you well in the past, but now is a different time, right? It's always a different time when a minister leaves, whether for retirement or for some other reason, but especially now. You had a minister retire during a pandemic. The world has turned 180, and ministry is different. You now have to write your liturgy with camera angles and tell people whether you want it to zoom in or come out wide. None of us went to movie production school. So who are you going to need next? Who are you going to need next? Come help figure that out at the transition team event. Take the congregational survey, which is already out there. The search team has worked very hard on refining this survey to make it very specific to Emerson instead of the general one they sent out in the workshop, in the workbook. Yeah, they worked hard on it. Not only did they refine it, they also, every single one of them, took it themselves and timed themselves taking it so they could honestly and authentically tell you it takes just about 20 minutes. You can all do 20 minutes, right? We can do 100% response rate for this survey because this is important. You can all attend cottage or focus meetings that are being held by the search committee. They are going to come up after the survey results come in. They're going to use those results to form the questions that they will ask you, to explore during the meetings. I think they're going to be some in person and some online, correct? Yes, they're waving yes. So everyone will have a chance to participate, and we need you. We need you to do that. Because you know what's going to happen after that? They're going to use all of that information to write up their congregational record, and that's what your ministerial applicants are going to read to decide whether they are interested in applying to you or not. So they need this information. The search committee is not doing it for you. They're not doing it all alone. They need you. You are the 12th person, all of you. Yeah. And then, of course, stewardship is coming up, but that'll be a separate sermon. But before that, the auction will happen the night before, and I think that's going to be a ton of fun. I can't wait. This is exciting that we finally get to do some of these things in person. I can't wait until all of you can do these things in person with us again. So what I want to say, I'm wrapping up now, is that most of all, what we need is your presence, your joy, your laughter, your support of one another. And especially today as we celebrate homecoming, we need your sense of fun and play. I'm planning on going to check out those water bombs, is that what we're calling them? Bella and I are going to be there. I'll see you after we do the fair thing, and then we have food, and we have water games, and I just can't wait to play with you, have fun with you. We haven't had the chance to do this yet, but today is the day. All right, so may we all be blessed with a year of more joy than sorrow, more laughter than tears, more celebration than grief, as we grow together in mind and in spirit and build a better world. Amen, and blessed be. Now, we're about to sing. I didn't tell Julia and the choir this because I just decided to tell this joke. So there's this story about this preacher who is on fire and preaching all about temperance and not drinking and how you should pour all the bourbon and all the wine and all the beer and all the alcohol in the river and get rid of it. And then he stood up and announced the closing hymn, which was number 1046 of the Teal hymnal, "Shall we gather at the river?" Let's sing. Go now in peace and in joy and with laughter, with love in your hearts, kindness on your lips, and compassion at your fingertips, blessing all others as you yourselves are blessed. Amen, and blessed be.
Okay, y'all, I know you want to get to the fair and the hot dogs and the water bombs, and I just flipped this page, and there's a whole lot of stuff here. Let's see how fast I can talk and how much I can shorten. For those of you tuning in from home, Social Time starts on Zoom. That link is in the YouTube description and also in the church e-blast. For those in the pews, our homecoming festivities continue. Head to the gathering place to check out what Emerson committees and teams are doing and how you might lend your talents. I've got butterflies at mine. Then stay for lunch. Westwood Hall will be open in about 20 minutes for a terrific potluck of hot dogs with all the fixings, great sides and desserts, and we've got water bombs and bubbles under the trees for fun lovers of all ages. The transition team event that Reverend Michelle mentioned is next Sunday at 4 p.m. on Zoom. To prepare for new ministry, a critical piece of the transition process is taking a good look at past ministries. Please join the transition team and Reverend Michelle for a thoughtful, fun event. And this week, the Ministerial Search Committee emailed congregational surveys to Emerson members and friends so that you can let us know what kind of minister Emersonians are looking for to create a picture of who we are, what we care about, and our goals for the congregation. It will help us and potential ministers better understand our congregation as we move forward with the search for our future minister. If you didn't receive that email, please speak to one of the search committee members at the table in the gathering place or contact them at survey@emersonhouston.org. And now, our postlude.